This is a demo run through of the upcoming webinar on getting the most out of Jenkins and Selenium with Cloudbase and Source. We're going to show you how easy it is to get up and running with Source and get your Selenium tests running in the cloud using Cloudbase, and how you can run your integration tests against a Java EE container using Quillian and Drone. My name's Ross. I handle the Java support for Source Labs and also maintain the continuous integration plugins. Let's start by creating ourselves a new Cloudbees account by going to cloudbees.com and clicking the Try It for Free button. And then we'll enter in some details. This is a brand new account. So I'll enter in an email address I haven't used before, my name, password, enter username and account. We'll call it Source Demo. And we'll add 25 to 19. Oh, this will be tricky. 44. Let's hope so. Create account. That way. Okay, so now we've got a Cloudbase account. We want to enable a Jenkins build, so let's click on Jenkins. And this will prompt us to enter in the cloud, dev cloud plan we want to use. So right now we're just going to pick a free plan. Click the sign up button. Okay, so now we're subscribed to the free monthly plan. It's going to take a little while to get Jenkins up and running. So while we're waiting, let's go and subscribe to the source support. We'll click the services button and click add services. And then on the Source Labs service, let's click Learn More. So it's free to sign up for Source Labs. It will give you 16,000 minutes a month and let you run 48 simultaneous tests. So let's subscribe. And this will create ourselves an account with Source Labs and also install the Source plugin within the Jenkins instance. So it's going to take a little while to start up. Let's have a look at Jenkins. It's probably still going. Yeah, it's still provisioning the service, so let's go back and wait. So right about now I'll probably talk about what's involved in running tests, how the tests work. I have to think of something to talk about. I'm not sure how long the provisioning of Jenkins takes. It looks like it's up now. Oh, it's still coming up. Okay, so I'll have to work out how long it takes for the Jenkins to get provisioned. Or we start off with an already provisioned but blank Jenkins instance and then just add the source service on top of that. Yeah, not sure. So I'll wait till this is finished. And then once Jenkins is ready to go, I'll navigate to the Manage Jenkins to demonstrate that the source account has been entered there and been created. And then we'll run through the click starts. So we'll just wait for a little bit. You can fast forward this if you want. Okay, so now we have our dashboard. Alright, so we'll just navigate to Manage Jenkins just to demonstrate that the source information's been entered. Why is Jenkins restarting? Maybe it's installing the plugin now. Okay. So we probably have to wait. It's probably been about 5 minutes, I think. I'll check it after I finish recording the screencast. Okay, so that probably is close to 5 minutes there. Okay. Okay, so now we'll click on Manage Jenkins, and we'll go Configure System, and we should be able to see that we have our source on demand username and source on demand access key. So the username is an auto-created one using our CloudBees user ID source demo and with CloudBees underscore at the front. And the access key is a auto-generated key which we use when we authenticate against source Labs. So we need this when we're running our tests. We need to tell our test to connect to ondemand.sourcelabs.com, and we pass in the username and access key as the authentication. But we'll demonstrate that once we've loaded our click start. So now we've got our Jenkins instance. We're going to load a click start, which will load a simple Java-based app Maven project into Jenkins and create us a Git repository, which has got some simple tests that demonstrate how you can run your Selenium tests against Source Labs. So to load the click start, at the moment we're going to go to our GitHub page, which is github/rostro/source Java click start. Possibly before the demo we could add the Java click start to the Cloudbase click start menu. But for the moment we'll click on this deploy instantly on Cloudbees link, and it's going to invoke Cloudbees, and it'll tell us that we're going to create ourselves a new source repository and a Jenkins build, and it wants us to enter a name, so we'll enter simple Java and click create app. So that's going to create us as I said, a Git repository and a Maven Jenkins build, and once that's done, Jenkins will start building the project. Okay, so here's our new Jenkins build. It's pending, so while we're waiting for it to build, let's go and find the Git repository so we can clone it on the local workstation so we can have a look at the code that we're running. Here we go, simple Java. Let's click the details. Okay, so we'll go and copy this and clone it onto the workstation. Git clone. Okay, so I need to set up the SSH keys probably. I'll have to do that first after I've created the... Okay, we're back. Yes, so that error was because I hadn't set up the SSH keys, so I'll have to add that into the set of steps, but we can add the SSH keys by going account settings and SSH keys, and we'll add demo key, and I'll go to my environment, rsa.pub. I think that's the right one. Copy that. Add that. Oh. Okay, we're back again. I've removed the key from the other account, so we'll see if this works. Please, please, please. Hooray! Okay, so now I've got a key entered, so I'll have to remember that I need to remove my key from any other demo instances. Let's go back into here and try the clone again. Let's try the DSA key. Pub. Let's try this. Demo DSA. A. Bear with me. Try the clone. Alright, okay, so we've got our simple Java project, which has got a Maven POM file, README, and some sample tests. So let's load this up in IntelliJ. Import project, navigate to C users, ROS, simple Java. Where is it? Here we go, simple Java. Import the project from Maven. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, so this is going to load up in IntelliJ. IntelliJ is going to resolve its dependencies. So basically we have two simple tests. We've got source on demand test and source connect test. So source on demand test shows constructing desired capabilities using environment variables that are set by the Jenkins plugin, which are for the version, the platform, and the browser for the selected browser. It'll read the username and the API key, and it will construct a remote WebDriver instance using that information. And it's just going to do a basic test to go to Amazon.com and assert that the title is the big long title that Amazon's got. The source connect test is a bit more involved. This is verifying that we can test a local website against source on demand, and we do this using source connect, which acts as a proxy between the local web server and the Selenium test and source on demand. So it's also creating the desired capabilities and the remote URL, and it's hitting localhost 445 because that's where source connect's running. And this is going to start up a in-memory web server with just a simple HTML page with a secret title, and if the test works, the test will assert that the title is our secret, and if we really hit it, then we should see that the title or the assertion should pass. Okay, so that's all pretty simple. So let's go back to Jenkins and see if it's finished. I'll go to builds. Okay, so we have our simple Java test. It's blue, means everything passed. Now if we navigate to it, I think this version of the source plugin that's installed with Jenkins isn't going to auto embed the results. I'll just verify that. We do have a fix for that, which will get deployed before the webinar. Test result, no failures. Can I navigate to the tests? Here we go. So it did run our source connect test and source on demand test. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to see usually the source results will be embedded here. But we're not using the latest version of the plugin, but we'll fix that. However, we can see the tests that got run on the services tab by going to Source Labs. Okay, so this is our Cloudbase source demo. You can see we've run two tests. Don't have any job names yet, but we'll demonstrate how you can set that. So this is our simple test that hits Amazon. You can see we went to Amazon.com, we ran under Windows 2008 Chrome, and we tried to get the title of it. Now the other test, which is our local web server test, let's go back and click the next one. So we tried to hit localhost 5000, which we can only get to by using Source Connect, and we tried to check the title. And we can see that we had our secret number there and a little block of text that say it worked. Now let's just have a look at the Jenkins configuration. So probably want to check the Jenkins configuration before we clone the repository on the local workstation. That's probably something I should have done. So we can check the Jenkins configuration. We've got set up by going configure on the job. And we scroll down to the source on demand section. So the Click Start has enabled the source on demand support for this job. It's enabling Source Connect, which will launch Source Connect before the tests start and then close it once the test's finished. We want to run our test using Windows 2008 using Google Chrome. And we also want to embed the source on demand reports, which again isn't working because the plugin version is not right, but we'll fix that. Okay, so that was a bit rambly. I think we're good to go now. So that was simple tests, which just demonstrates us running basic Selenium tests against source without too much effort. Let's run another Click Start to set up a Java EE container that runs within CloudBees. So we'll navigate to github/rossrow/source Jboss Click Start, and again we'll probably want this to be one of the Click Start options on the main CloudBees Click Start page. But for the moment we'll click this Deploy Instantly button, and again this is going to create us a Click Start, which is going to be a bit more involved than the last one. It's going to have a source repository, a Jenkins build, a web application, and a database. So we'll call this Jboss. And as you can see, it says a full Java EE6 web profile application with database and continuous deployment and source support. So let's click Create App. It's going to take a little while. And again, this is going to create us a Git repository, create us a Jenkins build that's pre-configured to run against source, and deploy a web app to CloudBees. Now the web app is just going to be a simple app deployed under Jboss, which is basically just a dummy membership application. Okay, so that's finished. So now it's redirecting us to the web app that we just deployed. So this is our sample web app that's available from jboss.sourcedemo.cloudbase.net. So let's close that. We'll make sure that Jenkins is running our build. Click on Jenkins builds. You see Jboss 1 is running now. And again, we'll check the job configuration. So this is pre-configured to run with enabling source support, enabling Source Connect, and running against Google Chrome. This also includes some more advanced features by deploying to CloudBees if the build passes, and we'll see if we can add some more advanced features into the Jenkins build, more enterprisey features, but I'll keep having a look at that. So let's clone this while the build's still going. Let's go to our repositories. We should see a Jboss Git repository. Let's clone that on the local workstation. I'll go back to my root. Git clone git.cloudbase.com/source-demo/jboss. And this should work because now the keys are all set up. Okay, so that's all pulled down. So let's load that into our IntelliJ instance. Instead of creating a new project, let's just go add module, import module, and it's called Jboss. Yes, it's Maven, that's where it lives. Okay, so now this is a little bit more involved. I don't want to reload that. We can see that we've got a Jboss web application, which has got a model view and a controller. This is where all the Java classes live under source main Java. And we can see we've got some JSF pages here. We've also got our tests here. So we've got two tests. One is the test that comes with Quillian, I think. This is just a basic test that verifies the business logic of the application. So it's using our Quillian, which is a integration testing framework. I'll come up with some more words about our Quillian. I'm still not 100% sure what it is and it isn't, but basically it'll let you set up a container within your test, like deploy a artifact. In this case, it's a WAR file. It's all pre-configured within the test itself, and the test will run a local Jboss instance and deploy the dummy deployable artifact to it and run a test against that. The test that we are interested in is this member registration WebDriver test, which again is running against our Quillian, but this is using our Quillian drone, which is a web testing framework for our Quillian, and specifically we're using a source extension for drone, which will pre-configure or use the configuration from Jenkins to set up the WebDriver instance. So you can see in this test we've annotated the WebDriver instance with the drone annotation, but we're not instantiating it directly, and we're not passing in the source username, access key, or all the browser information. That's all getting handled via the Quillian extension, the source WebDriver extension for Quillian. So in your test, you don't have to do any manual configuration or read the environment variables. It's all handled by the source extension for drone. So you end up with less code. You can see there's no setup, teardown of the WebDriver instance, and it will read the environment variable set by the Jenkins plugin. So we've got a couple of tests here, one which is verifying that we're on the source Java click start. So it's checking the header for the page. It's running a simple registration, and it's doing some validation checks. So let's go back to our Jenkins instance and see if the build's finished. Go to builds. Build's still going. Let's see how it's going. So I think this takes about 7 minutes to finish. So you can see the test has started. It's running our member registration instance. So the tests are running a local Jboss, deploying the artifact to it via Quillian, running a test, and then destroying the deployment artifact once the tests are finished. Okay, so that test is finished. Now we're running our member registration WebDriver test. And again, this test is running against a local Jboss instance, so we need to use Source Connect so that the test can run against Source on Demand. And when this is finished, we should then be able to navigate to the source results. There we go, tests are finished. And this build is configured that if the tests all pass and the build compiles okay, that it's going to deploy the WAR file to the Cloudbase instance. So what we could do is verify that this ran okay, and then make a change, and then do a push and verify that the changes get deployed to the website. Talking out loud, sorry. Okay, so that's still deploying. While that's deploying, we should be able to see our results in source. Let's go services, source labs. Okay, it's loading up. Here we go, here's our Jboss tests. It's our verify kitchen sink. So let's play this test and see what happens. There we go. So one of the main features of Source is that it will take a video recording of the tests when they're running, and also take screenshots of the pages. So you can see we're running our video. It's taking a little while. Here we go, it's going to localhost 8080/tests. And if you look carefully, you can see that it's going to start entering data into the fields. And it's going to hit submit, and you can just see it hit registered. Now it's testing the mandatory fields. And then we're finished. So let's close that. And we'll refresh so we can see if the build has finished now. Okay, so our Jboss build's finished. If we navigate to Jboss Source Demo Cloudbase.net. Okay, so I'll have to fix that up. Okay, so that's something to fix up. It did deploy, but the page isn't displaying, which is not good. But I'll add that to my list of things to do. So I think for the moment, that's probably as much as the demo as we're going to, the main functional points we want to show. We've invoked two click starts to populate our Cloudbase instance with tests that we're running at Source Labs. The simple Java click start will set up a couple of basic tests, one hitting Amazon, one hitting a local web server, and we'll configure the Jenkins job to include the source support and to run using Google Chrome. And the Jboss click start will do a bit more. It will set up a Java EE application and deploy it to our Cloudbase instance. It will also set up the source support within Jenkins, and we'll run some more involved tests using our Quillian drone that will set up a local Jboss instance, deploy a test WAR file to it, instantiate a WebDriver instance by referencing the properties set in the Jenkins plugin, and run tests against the web application. The Jboss Jenkins project will also attempt to redeploy once the build's okay, and we'll also show if we make a change and do a push, then the Jenkins build should start automatically. I'll just quickly verify that now. So we will change our test to knock off the source Java. That should fail. So if we go back to Jboss, git add, git commit, test failure, let's do a push. Okay, so that's on push. So now if we navigate to Jenkins and wait a few minutes, Jboss has entered the queue. Now I'm not sure how long this is going to wait, probably a little while. Not sure if there's any way we can give this build priority for the webinar purposes. Probably something to think about. pause this so we don't wait too long. Oh, no, it's come back. Let's not pause it. Okay, so that's running a build, starting source connect. Again, this takes about 7 minutes to run. We might want to talk about something else while this is going. Okay, I'll pause this so we're not sitting here watching the... Okay, we're back. So that took a little while longer than I expected. I think I was about almost 10 minutes. So now it's running our tests. Again, this test should fail because we pushed up a change which we're not expecting to work. So it's still doing deployment. It's going to run our WebDriver tests once the Quillian deployment's been made. Oh, there we go, we've got a failure. Okay, so now if we navigate to our source build, we should be able to see our latest build. There we go. Doesn't actually say where it failed here. I wonder if we can fix that. Okay, so I'll do some more work on the fixing up the deployment so it actually works once it's deployed. I'll get the set of steps that we want to demonstrate that things that work, we fix it, we do a push, we can see that it's all looking okay. And I'll also have a look at the other features of Jenkins that we want to demonstrate. Sorry, it's a bit rambly. I'll go through the screencast and make some notes, and the next one will be better. Okay, thanks, bye.